Hey there everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Well, I thought I'd do my video today on the difference between oil filters. Which one should you buy? The genuine one, the import one, the German one? Which one should you use on your vehicle? What is actually the difference between them? Everyone says the genuine one is the best. Let's cut them open and see which one of these filters you should be fitting on your car. So if you look at them from the top, all you can really see different is just the plate and the spring. If you look at this one, plate and the spring, can't really see any major variances. And the genuine one. So from the outside, these filters look all pretty much exactly the same. Okay, so let's start with the genuine filter. We're going to cut this bad boy open and let's see exactly what is inside this filter. Okay, so let's see what is inside. And there you go. Let me cut this thing up completely and get it right apart, and then I'm going to do the same to all the others. You can see inside there is another extra valve, but you can see it's a mini cartridge inside. Right, so that's the first VW filter. Let me cut open all the others and let's see what is actually different inside all these filters. Right, so I have cut open these filters. Those two load shedding happened, so we can't cut those two open yet. But let's see the difference between these four so long. Alright, so let's have a close look and see what exactly are the differences. Right, so if you look at these filters, you can see the tops are quite similar. That one having a few holes, a few holes, a few holes, and the gut has got a few extra holes. They've all got this little diaphragm. See, this is a genuine one.
see this is the second one. You can actually already feel the quality of that rubber is definitely a lot thinner. Look how thick that one is. So you can already see those two rubbers are definitely a different quality. The third rubber, you can also see it's almost equivalent to the genuine one. And let's look at the gud. Yeah, you can see this one is rubber, but it's also equivalent to the genuine one. So far the import filter has got a very thin little rubber. And then we can look, I have cut all of these filters off. If you look at how close the paper was together, you can see on the import filter the paper is definitely spread out further. And this is the Vica. You can also see it seems to be spread out a bit. And then if you look at the gud, you can see the paper is pretty close together. Then on to the next thing, there's a couple of valves inside the filter. This is on the genuine one. You can see it's got two of these type of valves. You can see it's a pretty compact spring. And then there's another one inside the housing also. But you can see there is a little bit of a difference in the design. You can see these filters, this one has a funny loose spring that was in this plastic little housing. You can see it's stuck in the bottom there. Then this one here, also it had a little metal valve. You can see the spring as well. Looks similar to the genuine one. Put them next to each other. You can see the quality of the spring. Can't really see any major difference. Maybe just the spring is a little bit thinner. Okay, and then you can see the genuine filter, it's got like a plastic support here, where the other three have all got this metal design. The gud one is slightly different, but you can see the Vica and the import very similar. Then if you look at the paper, I'm going to stretch this paper out, but you can see we want to see how much paper is in the filter. And you can see on the end piece the little valve. This is the gud. You can see quite a little compact valve there. And then on the back, this is the spring that goes onto the oil filter housing. Then you can look at this is the spring on the Vica. You can see it's a bit beefier than the gud one, but the metal is about the same thickness, it's just a little bit of a different size. And then if you look, the valve, slightly different design, also just a soft spring there. If you look at the two, you can see there's slight difference in the actual valve design. Then if we move on to the import filter, it's also got a valve, actually very similar to the gud one. You can see these two. If you look at the actual design of the two valves, very similar. So that would be the gud and then the import. And then on top, the spring that goes in the import filter, you can see it's just a single one loop spring, whereas the Vica and the gud have got a bit more substantial spring. And then if you look at the genuine filter, it doesn't actually have a spring. It's got like this spring plate that I'm sure does pretty much the same thing, but that's definitely a difference inside the genuine filter. So let's have a look now and see how long is the paper in the actual filter. So we'll start with the genuine one. I have already cut it. Let's see. Just hold it there. Tight. Okay, so let's see how long. This is the genuine filter. Let's stretch this paper right out. As you can see, that is how long the paper in the genuine filter is. Okay, so let's move on to the import filter. Let's see how much paper it's got in it. Okay, That is the import filter. See, the genuine filter was there. This is the import filter. Alright, let's have a look here and check the Vica. Okay, this is the Vica filter. You can see that is the length of the paper. Right, now let's have a look at the Gud. It's South African made. See how much paper is inside of that one. Oh my gosh. How is this? This is the Gud filter. Wow, look how much more paper it's got in it. So, out of all these filters, we had the genuine filter here, the import filter here, the Vica filter here, and the Gud filter all the way along there. So you can see there's definitely more paper in the Gud filter. And you can look, if you see how close the paper is together. Look how close it is together. That's the Vica, that's the import, and that's the genuine one, but I'll show you here. Also quite close together, but not as tightly packed. Okay, so now let's have a close-up of the actual paper. See if we can see an actual difference. You can see this paper, it's got some pleats in it. This is from the Gud filter. You can see it's thickish. Then the next one we have here, this is from the Vica. Also see it's also got some pleats in it. The paper is definitely a bit thinner. Then we've got the import filter. Has also got some pleats in, but you can actually feel there's a definite difference in this paper in comparison with the other one. And then this is the paper in the genuine one. I must say, if I feel this paper, you can even see here on the back there's some support on it to hold the paper together, and you can see it's actually quite thick. If you compare it with the, this is the import paper, just look at the actual thicknesses. You can see the genuine one is quite a bit thicker than the import filter. So on all these filters here, which one would you rather have in your car? So I'm voting for the genuine filter or the Gud, because those two seem to have the best quality stuff in them. The valve seems to be as equivalent to an OE one. You can see the actual valve, you can see the quality. And then the inside structure, you can see much more high quality valves than on the import stuff. Look at that import filter. You can see that valve that's in there. The Gud one looks a bit beefier, although the Vica one does still look a bit bigger. But in comparison with the genuine one, it's quite a different design. And the genuine one's valves obviously look like a bit better quality.
Right, so I've had a look at all these filters, I've opened them, I've pulled out the paper, we've looked at the quality of the paper, and it's apparent that the Volkswagen filter and the Gud filter seem to be the best quality. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the other two, but what would you rather have in your car? So sometimes cheaper isn't better.